Hello everyone, this is Al, Red Sox fan, coming to you from Al, Red Sox fan YouTube station. We are going to continue on with some Strat-O-Matic baseball. I'd just like to say hello to Tribes fan, who has jumped in the chat. He says hello again. Well, thank you very much for joining me once again, Tribes fan. Hope all is well. Hope you're playing some baseball games of your choice and enjoy my ball game that I'm going to broadcast. I think this one's a doozy. We have the 1965 Los Angeles Dodgers against the 1967 Boston Red Sox, and this is Game 1, Best of 7. First broadcast tonight, we did a 70s Decade Team League game, and that pitted the Royals and the Angels, and it was a very sloppy game. That was a fan-created league, and it's free, so thank you very much for that. That's pretty cool. But I was hoping for a better game, so I think this will be. I know the players on this team, and it's the 67 Red Sox who would lose to the 67 Cardinals in the World Series, taking on the 1965 Dodgers, who would win the World Series against the Minnesota Twins, I believe. So, and we have a unbelievable pitching matchup. We got gentleman Jim Lonborg on the mound, and he's counterpart Sandy Koufax. So let's just quickly go to the lineups here. And leading off for the Dodgers, we have Maury Wills, and he's playing shortstop. And I just want to make sure that the notebook comes up, as it should come up. There it is. Excellent. Then we have batting second, playing third base, Jim Gilliam. Batting third, playing right field, Ron Fairley. Batting fourth, the center fielder, Willie Davis. These Dodger teams with Koufax and Drysdale did not score a lot of runs. Batting fifth, playing left field, Lou Johnson. Batting sixth, the first baseman, Wes Parker. Batting seventh, playing second base, Jim Lefevre. Batting eighth and doing the catching, Johnny Roseboro, who, if you remember, back in the 60s got into a wild brawl with Juan Marichal. Marichal would be at the plate. Roseboro would throw the ball back to the mound, and he whizzed it right past Marichal's ear. Marichal took offense and took the baseball bat to him, which was one of the most horrific scenes in baseball. And batting ninth, doing the pitching, the pitcher, Sandy Koufax. For the Boston Red Sox, batting first, playing second base, Mike Andrews. Batting second, playing third base, Jerry Adair. Batting third, playing left field, the Triple Crown winner of 1967, Carl Yastrzemski. Batting fourth, the first baseman, George Boomer Scott. Batting fifth, playing right field, Tony Caligiero. Batting sixth, Rico Petrocelli, playing short. Batting seventh, the switch-hitting center fielder, Reggie Smith. Batting eighth and doing the catching, Mike Ryan. Batting ninth, on the mound, gentleman Jim Lonborg. Tribes fan says almost as memorable as Nolan Ryan versus Robert Ventura. I remember from that one, Ventura charged the mound like an idiot, and Ryan basically put him in a headlock and pummeled him, if I remember correctly. So Maury Wills steps to the plate, and Maury Wills in 1965 batted .260. Oh, wrong lineup. Let's go to the visitor lineup. Maury Wills batted .286, no home runs. definitely a base stealing threat. Switch hitter, he's batting lefty against a right-handed thrower, Jim Lonborg. And we're going to play our corners in. Wills can handle that bat quite well. So Scott in at first, Adair in at third. Wills wants a 3 or 6 column. Bryant sets the target. Here's the pitch by gentleman Jim Lonborg, and that is a 1-4. And Wills pops that ball up. Petrocelli at short calls for it, makes the catch. 1 up, 1 down. Stepping to the plate, another switch hitter, Jim Gilliam, will be batting lefty off the right-handed throwing Lonborg. He's looking for a 2-6 column. The windup and the pitch by Lonborg, and he's going to get a 1-7. That's going to be a pop up to the third baseman, Jerry Adair. And he makes the catch. So 2 pop-ups and 2 outs, and that brings up Ron Fairley. Dodger right fielder batted .274 with 9 home runs in 65. Gentleman Jim looking for a 1-2-3 inning here. Ryan goes through the signs. Lonborg nods his head. Here's the pitch to Fairley. And that is a 5-6, and that's going to be a single up the middle. So no 1-2-3 inning, a 2-out single. Fairley's at first, being held on by the boomer, George Scott. 45% chance of stealing second base. Willie Davis, not the Willie Davis who played for the Green Bay Packers, the Willie Davis who plays center fielder for the Dodgers in 1965. .238 batting average and 10 home runs. Another left-handed batter. Lonborg rocks and fires, and that is a 1-7. And guess what? That's a pop-up to Mike Andrews. He's under it. Waits for it to come down. On the outfield grass, he makes the catch, inning over. Bottom of the first, no score. Mike Andrews steps to the plate for the 67 Boston Red Sox. Andrews batted .263, 8 home runs. He's looking for a 3 or a 5 column. 4, 5, and 6 in that 3 column, very good. They're singles, 11 and 12 walks. So Sandy Koufax on the mound. You got Roseboro catching, Gilliam at third, Wills at short, Lefevre at second, Parker at first. Left to right, Johnson, Davis, and Fairley. Sandy Koufax, the left-handed throwing flame baller. Rocks and fires. Here's the pitch to Andrews. And that is a 5, and that's a 1. That ball's going to be gone. That's going to go out to left center and over the Green Monster as he crushes that Sandy Koufax offering. And the 67 Red Sox take a 1-0 lead. As he just drilled that fastball out of the ballpark. Wow. So the split was 1-11, so I knew once we got the 1, that's a home run. If it was above that, 12-20 was a double. 1-0 Red Sox, 1967. Jerry Adair steps to the plate. Red Sox third baseman batted .271 with 3 home runs in 67. He's looking for that 1 or 3 column. That 3 column's pretty good. You got 5, 6, 7 singles and 8 possibility of a single. So Koufax has to regroup. He gives off a leadoff homer to Mike Andrews. Roseboro sets the target. Here's the pitch by Koufax. That is a 2-9. It's going to be a fly ball center field B. Davis is moving towards it. Moves back a bit and he makes the catch. ball carried a little more than he thought. So 1 out, and Karl Yastrzemski steps to the plate. Yaz, Triple Crown winner in 1967. He batted .326 with 44 home runs. Lefty-lefty matchup here. This should be interesting. Koufax versus Yastrzemski. Yaz looking for that 3 or 5 column. And that 3 column's really good. 4 and 5 and 6. 7, wow, 8, 9, 10, all excellent. If he gets that 3 column, he's going to really be a happy camper. Koufax looks in at Roseboro, nods his head. Here is the pitch to Yastrzemski. That is a 6-8, and Yastrzemski goes, no, he strikes out looking fooled on that pitch. Curveball gets in there. Koufax also had a nasty curveball. So there's 2 outs now. Stepping to plate, George Boomer Scott. Scott, Red Sox first baseman, .303, 19 home runs in 1967. He's looking for a 2-5 for columns. A lot of blue in that column number 2. Koufax toes the rubber, peers in at Roseboro. Here's the pitch to Scott. That is a 5-5, possible home run or double. And it's a 17. I think this is going to be a double off the Green Monster. Johnson going back, and he can't get there. And that's a double for the Boomer as it goes off the Green Monster. And that brings up Tony Caligiero. Tony C, before his injury, the horrific beaming in August of 1967, was batting .287 with 20 home runs. The fans in Fenway chant, we want to hit. Caligiero is looking for that 1 or 2 column. 2 outs. Runner at second. Koufax deals. That is a 3-10. And that's a ground ball back to Koufax, who throws over to Parker. Inning over. The Red Sox get 1 on the leadoff homer by Mike Andrews. We go to the top of the second, 1-0, 1967 Red Sox. Due up for the 65 Dodgers, Johnson, Parker, and Lefevre. New Johnson in 1965, 259 batting average, 12 home runs. He's looking for column 1 and 6. Jim Lonborg on the mound for the Red Sox. Ryan sets the target. Here's the pitch by Gentleman Jim. That is a 4-3. And Johnson is patient, and he gets a walk. And he has an 80% chance of stealing second base. George Boomer Scott holding him on. 1-0 Red Sox. At the plate, Wes Parker. .238, 8 home runs in 1965. I'm guessing that Johnson will be going. Lonborg looks over at him. Here's the pitch. And Johnson is stealing on the curveball. Here's the throw down. He's got an 80% chance of being safe. And that's a 10. And it's a hook slide, and he avoids the tag by Rico Petrocelli. So he has a stolen base. He's in scoring position now with no outs. Looking to tie the game up. Wes Parker at the plate. Lonborg rocks and fires to Parker. That is a 2-7, and that is a strikeout. A big swing and a miss. Could not catch up. Good movement on that fastball. Big strikeout there. 1 out. Tying run at second, and Jim Lefevre steps to the plate. 250. 12 home runs in 65. Lefevre's looking for a 1 or a 6 column. Ryan sets the target. Here's the pitch to Lefevre. He's got a 3-11, and that's going to be another swing and a miss for a strikeout. So after giving up the single and the stolen base, Lonborg has come back with back-to-back strikeouts, and it's going to be up to the number 8 hitter, the catcher, Johnny Roseboro. Batted .233 in 1965, 8 home runs. Johnson on at second. Lonborg peers in at Ryan. He's ready. Here's the pitch to Roseboro. That's a 2-10. That's going to be a ground ball B to George Boomer Scott. He flips it to Lonborg, covering, inning over. We go to the bottom of the second, 1-0, 1967 Red Sox. Due up for Boston, Petrocelli, Smith, and Ryan. Rico Petrocelli steps to the plate, 1967, batted .259 with 17 round trippers. Rico's looking for that 2 or 3 column. Koufax is ready. He winds and delivers, and that's a 4-10. That's going to be a catcher X. So I believe this is a pop-up to Roseboro. Roseboro has a 50% chance of making a great play and a 50% chance of mishandling it. So let's see what the X chart will bring us. Roseboro calls for it and makes the catch up against the screen for out number 1. Now Reggie Smith steps to the plate. Red Sox center fielder from 1967, .246 batting average, 15 round trippers. Smith wants a 3 or a 1 for the column. Switch hitter. Smith will bat right-handed off the left-handed flamethrower, Sandy Koufax. Koufax rocks and fires. That is a 3-2, and that is going to be a pop-out to the catcher. There's 2 away. Mike Ryan steps to the plate. Red Sox catcher below 200, 199 batting average, 2 home runs. He's looking for a 5 and a 2. So he actually hits better. I believe the 5 is the pitcher card. And he actually hits better off the pitcher's card. Well, 4 and 5 on the 2 is a single. Looking to get on to extend this inning. Koufax gets the sign from Roseboro. Here's the pitch to Ryan. That is a 5-7, and that is a strikeout. The hook gets him as it froze him. Inning over. Koufax gets another strikeout. We go to the top of the third, 1-0, 1967 Red Sox. To lead it off, Sandy Koufax. See if Lonborg can get his rival here. Here's the pitch to Koufax. That is a 5-6. And Koufax singles up the middle. So Sandy Koufax singles up the middle off gentleman Jim Lonborg. Sandy says, take that, Jim. Maury Wills steps to the plate. He's 0 for 1. Handles the bat very well. And we're going to move our corners in. Again, the Dodgers do not score a lot of runs. They play small ball. Let's try to get that lead runner in Sandy Koufax. So Adair's in at third. Scott's in at first. Here's the pitch to Wills. Puts the bunt out there. Lays it down. It's a great bunt. Adair fields it and throws to Scott, who gets back to cover first base. No! And not in time. That is a bunt base hit. Scott is not happy with that call, and he is arguing with the umpire. So is Andrews. But they're not going to change the call, folks. So runners at first and second, no outs on the bunt base hit by Maury Wills. And Jim Gilliam steps to play. He's 0 for 1. Again, Gilliam handles the bat quite well. We're going to play normal, though. Lonborg needs a strikeout here. Here's the pitch. Gilliam puts the bunt down. Adair fields it, throws to first for the out. So a very good job on the sacrifice bunt by Gilliam. Runners now at second and third with 1 out. And Ron Fairley steps to plate. He's 1 for 1 today. He singled his first time up. Fairley's looking for that 1 or 6 column. Ryan sets the target. Here's the pitch by Lonborg. That is a 3-5, and guess what that is, folks? That's a swing and a miss strikeout. That's some clutch pitching by Gentleman Jim. So there's 2 outs now. Koufax at third represents a tying run. Wills, the very speedy Maury Wills at second, represents a go-ahead run. And at the plate, Willie Davis. He's 0 for 1 today, folks. Davis looking for the 1 or 6 column. 2 outs, 2 on. Here's the pitch to Willie Davis. That is a 6-10. It's going to be a fly ball, center field B. Reggie Smith moving towards it. He's there. He reaches up. He makes the catch. Inning over. Go to the bottom of the third. 1-0. 1967. Boston Red Sox over the 65 Dodgers. And stepping to the plate, the pitcher, Gentleman Jim Lonborg. Now let's see if he can return the favor. Koufax singled off him. Let's see if Gentleman Jim can do the same. Digs in the right-hander's batter's box. Here's the pitch by Koufax. That is a 4-8, and that's a big swing and a miss, as Lonborg was looking to send that over the Green Monster. And the only thing he'll do is send himself back to the bench.
Peanuts, get your peanuts here.
1 out, top of the order. Mike Andrews, he's 1 for 1. Lead-off homer off Sandy Koufax. Has given the Red Sox a 1-0 lead as he crushed that fastball. Roseboro goes through the sides. Koufax nods his head. Roseboro sets the target. Here's the pitch to Andrews. That is a 5-7, and Koufax gets his revenge, swinging a miss on the big curveball. So 2 up, 2 down on K's. And Jerry Adair steps to the plate. He's 0 for 1. Bunting C. I wonder if we can fool them with a bunt base hit. Let's try that. Let's try and get a little sneaky here. We're going to attempt a bunt base hit, try to totally catch him off guard. And bunt for the hit. Here's the pitch by Koufax. Adair. Oh, he bunts it right back to Koufax. He throws to Parker, inning over. Had we put a decent bunt down, he might have had a shot. So we go to the top of the fourth, 1-0 Boston. The due up for the LA Dodgers of 1965. Johnson, Parker, and Lefevre. Johnson walked his first time up. Again, he's looking for the 1 or 6 column. And some pretty good stuff on that 1 column. Lonborg wants to stay away from those. Ryan sets the target. Here's the pitch from Lonborg. That's a 4-10. That's a catcher X chart. Ryan, 25% chance of a great play, 65% chance of mishandling it, so it looks not too good for the Boston catcher. High pop-up. Looks like the ball is drifting foul. Ryan makes the call, and he makes the play. Wow. So Ryan makes the play on it for out number 1. He had a better chance of making the error, but Ryan comes through there. So 1 out, no one on. Wes Parker steps to the plate. Parker's 0 for 1. He's looking for a 6 or 3 column. Lonborg toes the rubber. Gets a sign. Here's the pitch to Parker. That is a 2-7, and that's going to be a strikeout. Throws him. Couldn't pull the trigger there. So there's 2 outs now. Another strikeout for Gentleman Jim Lonborg. He's got 4 today as I'm getting used to it. You see it over here. He's got 4 strikeouts, Lonborg. And now at the plate, Jim Lefevre. He's 0 for 1, and he struck out his first time up. 2 outs. Lonborg looking for a 1-2-3 inning. He rocks and fires. Here's the pitch. That is a 5-7, and he strikes out the side as Lefevre goes down swinging. Fooled completely by that off-speed pitch. We go to the bottom of the fourth, 1-0 Boston. Gentleman Jim Lonborg is spinning a gem, folks. Spinning a gem. Carl Yastrzemski steps to plate. He's 0 for 1 today. He struck out his first time up. Sandy Koufax has 4 strikeouts of his own. Lefty-lefty matchup here. Yaz awaits the Koufax offering. Here it is. It's a 2-7, and Yastrzemski is patient and gets a walk. He does not swing at that curveball that was blown away. Yaz is on first. Parker holding him on. Yastrzemski has a 60% chance of stealing second. George Boomer Scott steps up, plays 1 for 1 with a double. And Roseburow's a -1. So Yaz, I'm trying to figure, Yaz is running 1 through 14. So -1 makes that a 13, plus they're holding him on. I believe that knocks that down even more. Not quite sure how much more, but it knocks it down. So Scott is going to swing away here. We're going to keep... Should I play hit and run? I think we're going to play a little hit and run with the Boomer. I'm going to play hit and run. And 21% chance of a hit, 33% chance of him missing the pitch. We're going to play hit and run. We're going to try the hit and run. Scott misses. The attempt to see if Yastrzemski's going on the pitch. It's a fastball at the knees, and he is pegged down. No, Yastrzemski slides in safely. So Scott misses the swing on the high fastball, and Yastrzemski gets the stolen base. So that worked out pretty good, to be honest with you. We'll take that. Yastrzemski's in scoring position. Scott's at the plate. Still. He'll swing away now. So no outs. Yastrzemski's in scoring position. Here's the windup and the pitch to the Boomer. That is a 3-6, excuse me. And Scott works a walk. So Koufax, back-to-back walks here. He's in a bit of trouble. First and second, no outs, and Tony Calignero steps to the plate. Tony C, 0 for 1. Let's see. Calignero wants that 1 or 2 column. Oh, that 1 column's nice. He's got some home runs there. So he wants to stay on his own card. Koufax gets the sign from Johnny Roseboro. Roseboro sets the target. Here's the pitch to Tony C. That is a 4-5. And Calignero is froze on that curveball, and he strikes out. Does not advance the runners. 1 out, and it's up to Rico Petrocelli now. 2 on. Petrocelli 0 for 1. Koufax has now struck out 5. Petrocelli digs in. Here's the Koufax offering. That is a 5-6. And that's a swing and a miss as Rico tried to send that when it lands down the street. Koufax really bearing down with the 2 runners on. He struck out Calignero and Petrocelli. It's up to Reggie Smith to extend this inning. 1-0 Boston. This could be a big squander for the 67 Red Sox. Here's the pitch to Smith. That is a 6-2. That's going to be a ground ball C to Parker at first. And he takes it to the bag himself. Inning over. So Sandy Koufax, after the walking the first 2 batters, strikeout, ground out. We go to the top of the 5th. 1-0 1967 Red Sox. Due up for the 65 Dodgers, Roseboro, Koufax, and Maury Wills. Roseboro's 0 for 1. Jim Lonborg back out on the mound. He's struck out 5. He's only walked 1. He's given up 3 hits in 4 innings pitched. Here's the windup and the pitch. That is a 5-5. It's going to be a ground ball to Andrews C. Andrews backhands it and throws to Scott for the out. 1 up, 1 down. Here comes Sandy Koufax. He's 1 for 1 today. He singled up the middle off Lonborg. Lonborg rocks and fires to Koufax. That is a 5-7, and this time Sandy, no such thing. Swing and a miss for strike 3. Gentlemen, Jim says throw her back and blew that fastball past his counterpart. 2 outs, no one on. Top of the order, Maury Wills 1 for 2. Wills had a bunt single. Red Sox will move their corners in. Scott in at first, Adair in at third. Here's the pitch to Wills. That is a 4-4. Could be a double or a single. That's a 6. I believe that's going to be a double. Nope. A double would have been a card of 1. Singles 2 to 20. So that is a 2-out single. But Maury Wills has a 90% chance of stealing second, so it will be a double in a short moment. John Gilliam, that was a wide receiver for the Vikings. Some other teams. Jim Gilliam steps to the plate. He's 0 for 1 today. We're going to play normal on this one. Ryan sets a target. Here's the pitch to Gilliam. Fastball on the fist, and there goes Wills on the steal. Chance of being safe, 1 to 18, 90%. Chance of catcher error, 5%. We're going to hold the ball. So Wills gets such a good jump. Ryan doesn't even throw down. He represents a tying run in second base with 2 outs. Jim Gilliam at the plate. Lonborg needs to come up clutch again. He rocks and fires. Here's the pitch. That is a 5-4 ground ball to Adair at third. And the chart comes up. Adair's range is 3, rating 26, great play 30%, hit allowed 20%, error 30.8. For this is not looking good for the Boston Red Sox and Jerry Adair. We hit okay. Adair scoops it up and fires to first, and Scott makes the stretch for out number 3. So Jerry Adair comes up with a big play. The Boomer makes a wonderful stretch. The Red Sox maintain their lead 1-0 as they go to the bottom of the 5th. Due up for the 67 Red Sox. Ryan Lonborg in the top of the order, Mike Andrews. What a ball game. Tribes fan says John Gilliam scored the first touchdown in Saints history. Thank you very much, Tribes fan. I knew he played for someone else. He played for the Vikings too, but I knew he played for someone else before that. He was a good receiver, John Gilliam. So Ryan steps to the plate. He's 0 for 1. He has struck out. Koufax has 6 Ks on the game so far. The windup and the pitch by Sandy. And that is a 1-8. That's going to be a ground ball A to Gilliam at third. It's a 1 hopper. Gilliam grabs it, fires over to Parker for the out. 1 up, 1 down. Number 9 batter, the pitcher, Jim Lonborg. 0 for 1. Struck out his first time up. What's his bunting? His bunting's a C. You know what? Let's see if Lonborg can get a bunt hit, and we're gonna say yes. Lonborg squares. He puts the bunt down. Roseboro fields it and fires to Parker at first for out number 2. So Gentleman Jim couldn't get it far enough away from the catcher. So there's 2 outs, no one on. Tribes fan in the chat says playing game 3 of pick teams, Palmer versus Ellis. Oh, you're at your friend's house? Good luck. Are you using Strat-O-Matic? I believe you are using Strat-O-Matic. Or is... That's pretty fun how you did that draft, though. That's a good idea. That can be really fun because it mixes it up. So 2 outs, no one on. The man of the hour so far, Mike Andrews, the leadoff homer, to give the Red Sox of 1967 a 1-0 lead over the 65 Dodgers. It's stood up so far. 1 for 2 is 1 hit. Again, that leadoff homer. Roseboro sets the target. Here's the pitch by Koufax. It's a 4-7, and that's a strikeout. Goes down looking. Got froze by that fastball inside corner. Go to the top of the 6th. 1-0 Red Sox over the Dodgers. Due up for the 1965 Dodgers, Fairley, Davis, and Johnson. Fairley's 1 for 2. He has a single, and he's also struck out. Gentleman Jim Lonborg has 6 strikeouts in 5 innings, 4 hits, 1 walk. The windup and the pitch by Lonborg. That is a 5-10. That's going to be a fly ball to center field, left center field. Smith on the run. Will he get to it? Smith range 2, error rating 6, great play 25%, chance for a hit 15%, error about 7.1%. Let's see what happens. Smith races over. Here comes Palinieri. Smith cuts in front of him, makes the catch, robbing extra bases for out number 1. Fairly goes back to the bench. Tribes fan in the chat says, using Strat at home since these are the 2 teams I picked. My friend just lets me play these games solo. Oh, okay. So 1 out, no one on. Willie Davis steps to the plate. He's 0 for 2. Lonborg looks for the sign. Nods his head. Ryan sets the target. The windup and the pitch to Davis. That is a 1-7. That's going to be popped up in the air. Mike Andrews is calling for it on the shallow outfield grass, and he makes the catch. 2 up, 2 down. Lou Johnson steps to the plate. Gentleman Jim Lonborg spinning a gem. Johnson's 0 for 1. He has walked once. Lonborg looking for a 1-2-3 inning. Here's the pitch to Johnson. That is a 4-5. And he's going to go 4-6, excuse me. He's going to go down, swing and a miss. Fastball, blew it right by him. We go to the bottom of the 6th, 1-0. 1967 Red Sox over the 65 Dodgers, and it has been the pitching duel that I expected. Koufax versus Lonborg. Sandy Koufax back on the mound. Bottom of the 6th. In 5 innings, 2 hits, 1 run, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts. The difference, the leadoff homer by Mike Andrews. So, Jerry Adair, 0 for 2. Koufax gets the sign. Here's the pitch to Adair. That is a 2-7. Ground ball, third base. Gilliam, it's an A. It's a hard ground ball. Gilliam snares it. Fires to Parker, and they just get Jerry Adair at first. Kind of double clutch, Gilliam. But still put a good, strong throw to first. So 1 out, no one on, and Carl Yastrzemski 0 for 1 with a walk, and he is also struck out. Yaz digs in. Lefty-lefty matchup. Koufax rocks and fires. Yastrzemski 4-10. It's a pop-up. Roseboro throws his mask. It's a 50-50 play. He awaits it. It's a high pop-up. Looks playable. Roseboro makes the catch up against the screen for out number 2. The Boomer, George Boomer Scott, steps to the plate. He's 1 for 1 with a double. He's also walked. He does have home run power. He's looking for the 2 or 5 column here. That 2 column has 8, 9, and 10 look very good. So do 4, 5, and 6. So if he gets that 2 column, this inning could be easily extended. The windup and the pitch by Sandy Koufax. It's a 5-6, and that's going to be a strikeout. Goes down looking on the curveball. Inning over. We go to the top of the 7th, 1-0. Boston Red Sox of 1967. Coming to the plate, the 65 Dodgers. Parker, Lefevre, and Roseboro. Jim Lonborg's thrown 82 pitches. He's good for 110. Wes Parker's 0 for 2. Left-handed batter to face the right-handed thrower. Gentleman Jim Lonborg. Here's the pitch. That is a 2-4, and Parker works a walk. Leadoff runner on. Another good base runner. The Dodgers have a plethora of good base runners. 75% chance even being held on by the Boomer at first base to steal second base. And Jim Lefevre comes to the plate. Lefevre's 0 for 2, and he has struck out twice. So we're going to play corners in. try to get that lead runner if possible, but I doubt it. I think he's going to be off and running. Here's the pitch by Lonborg. It's a hit and run. Lefevre grounds that ball. Andrews is there. He throws over to Scott, but it's just as good as a sacrifice. Andrews had to make a pretty good play on that to get that out, but Parker moves to second. He's in scoring position. He represents the tying run here with 1 out, top of the 7th. Johnny Roseboro steps to plate. He's 0 for 2. Roseboro. Lonborg would love to add to that strikeout total of 7. Ryan sets the target. Here's the pitch to Johnny Roseboro. That is a 6-8 ground ball, second base X. Andrews has a 30% chance of a great play, 20% chance of a hit, 13.6 of an error. Up the middle, past the dive of Andrews, and coming around to score is Parker. We have a tie ball game here at Fenway. Clutch hit by Johnny Roseboro. The catcher for the Dodgers even is a good runner. Look at that, 70% chance of stealing. And we have Strat-O-Matic Delaware in the house. How you doing, buddy? I have seen you have posted Game 2 of your World Series. I will be checking that out later. Remember to check out Strat-O-Matic Delaware. Excellent channel. He has posted Game 2 of his 79 World Series between the Pittsburgh Pirates and the Milwaukee Brewers. I almost said Braves. And if you don't want to do that, if you want to check out the whole tournament, I also recommend that. But Game 2 is up there. I recommend checking out Game 1. It was a doozy. So Koufax is at the plate. We shall play corners in. Koufax most likely will be bunting. Love to get Roseboro out at second. Lonborg rocks and fires. Koufax puts the bunt down. Scott fields it. He throws to second, and they nail him. They get the lead runner. Roseboro is forced out. Very poor bunt by Sandy Koufax. That's a huge defensive play. Keeps that tying run out of scoring position, so 2 outs, top of the 7th. Sandy Koufax at first. He represents a go-ahead run. 1-1 ball game. It's been a pitcher's duel between Koufax and Lonborg. Lonborg now up to 97 pitches, good for 110. Maury Wills steps to play, 2 for 3, Wills. Wills looking for that 3 or 6 column. Lonborg peers in at Ryan. Nods his head. Ryan sets the target. Here's the pitch to Wills. It is a 4-10. That's going to be a pop-up to the catcher. Ryan has a 25% chance of making the play. Let's see if he can do it again. It's a mile high. That should bring rain. He catches it, inning over. And let's do the trivia. It's not going to let me go up. Oh, here it is. Name 2 American League players that hit at least 20 doubles, 20 triples, and 20 home runs in the same season. Name 2 American League players that hit at least 20 doubles, 20 triples, and 20 home runs in the same season. I'm going to say 20 triples. That's a lot. Wow. That could be old school. I have no clue. Does anyone in the chat have any clue? Strat-O-Matic Delaware says Williams and Gehrig. Yeah, I'm gonna go Bobby Bonds. I don't think that's right. I'm gonna go Bobby Bonds, and I'm gonna go Ty Cobb. I don't think he had 20 home runs in a season though. Here we go. Let's see the answer. Jeff Heath and George Brett. I don't know who Jeff Heath is, but I know who George Brett is. The question was, name 2 American League players that hit at least 20 doubles, 20 triples, and 20 home runs. The answer, Jeff Heath and George Brett. So that was a really good trivia question. Strat-O-Matic Delaware says Brett. Wow. So, all right, bottom of the 7th, tied up at 1. Tony C steps to the plate. Tony Cognero's 0 for 2. He wants that 1 or 2 column. Lots of home runs on that 1 column. Roseboro sets the target. Here's the pitch to Cogneiro. It's a 4-5 ground ball, second base X. Lefevre has a 30% chance of making a great play. Tony C, 20% chance of getting a hit. Bounces right to Lefevre, and he goes to Parker just in time. So 1 up, 1 down. Rico Petrocelli steps to the plate. Rico's 0 for 2 today. Struck out once. Koufax has 8 strikeouts in 6 innings pitched. Well, 6 1/3 now. Rico could go yard. He had 17 home runs in 1967. Koufax rocks and fires. And it's a 6-9. And Petrocelli's patience proves prudent as he walks. He represents the go-ahead run at first base. Go back to the chat. Tribes fan says, never pictured Brett as a triples guy, but with the old turf at KC, oh yeah, that was a fast turf. Strat-O-Matic Delaware says, bet it was before the 390 and 80, the batting average. So Petrocelli, 65% chance of stealing second base, and you know what? We have Reggie Smith at the plate. Smith is a C hit and run. He only batted .246. I bet you he has better odds, probably, of getting a hit on the hit and run, or just slightly lower. Why won't this close? There we go. Okay. Let's try a hit and run here. 210 for a possible hit and run. You know what? We're going to play it. We're going to play hit and run here. Here's the pitch by Koufax. Petrocelli's off and running. Outside corner. Smith looks at the pitch. And there goes Petrocelli, and he's gunned out. So that strategy did not work. As Lefevre applied the tag, so 2 outs, base is empty. Now watch, Smith's going to double. Koufax gets a sign from Roseboro. Here's the pitch to Reggie Smith. That is a 2-6, and he strikes out on the curveball. Inning over. We go to the top of the 8th. We're knotted at 1. It's been a pitcher's duel here. Unbelievable, as Eric from Higher Ground Gaming steps into the chat. How are you, my friend? I love the stuff with Mr. Brody, Miss Mags, and Mr. Miller. He had a full house. It was absolutely awesome in the broadcast booth for the football game. Exciting game, too. I'm not going to tell you about it. Check it out with Eric on Higher Ground Gaming. It was 1978 between the Denver Broncos and the Oakland Raiders. So due up for the 65 Dodgers here in the top of the 8th, 1-1 ball game. Gilliam, Fairley, and Davis. Lonborg is at 102 pitches, good for 110. Red Sox will guard the line. You don't want to give up an extra base hit. These are a little more susceptible up the middle. The windup and the pitch by gentleman Jim Lonborg. That is a 6-9. Fly ball left field B. Yastrzemski should easily handle this. And he makes the catch. for out number 1. Ron Fairley steps to the plate. Dodger right fielder, 1 for 3. Yeah, struck out once. Ryan sets the target. Here's the pitch to Fairley. That is a 6-12 ground ball. Pitcher B. Lonborg knocks it down and throws over to Scott for out number 2. Robbing. Fairley of a hit up the middle. Nice play. Willie Davis steps to the plate. Dodger center fielder 0 for 3. Lonborg has 7 strikeouts so far. 2 outs, no one on. Red Sox and Lonborg looking for a 1-2-3 inning. The windup and the pitch to Willie Davis. That is a 1-6. That's a possible double or single. That's a 14. And that's going to be a single. So a 2-out single. But once again, the Dodgers base runners are unbelievable how fast they are. 80% chance even being held on to steal second base. And Lou Johnson steps to plate. He's 0 for 2 with a walk. Johnson has also struck out once. Lonborg's 2 pitches over his total. Red Sox start to mill around in their bullpen. Lonborg rocks and fires. That is a 3-11. Ground ball, shortstop, A+. Petrocelli grabs it, and a strong throw over to Scott. Inning over. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Still tied at 1. What a ball game here in Game 1, best of 7 at Fenway Park between the 1967 Red Sox and the 1965 Los Angeles Dodgers. Koufax back out on the mound. 99 pitches. He's good for 136. He's not coming out of the ball game, folks. The Red Sox, Ryan, Lonborg, and Andrews, and I think that's going to be it for Gentleman Jim. And Mike Ryan, 0 for 2. He's been totally overmatched by Koufax. And I think, let's go to our lineup. And I think we're going to go to... I think we're going to go to Elston Howard was horrible. I know that. He batted 178. And Joe Foy. Joe Foy off lefties. That 3's a pretty good card. And the 1, he has 2 home runs, 9 and 10. Well, possible double, too. I think we're going to go Joe Foy. Joe Foy and Hawk Harrelson after. 4 5. For the pitcher. You know, I think we're going to go to Hawk Harrelson first. He had 12 home runs. How many did Foy have? Foy had 16. So really the 3, but he's got 9 and 10 there. Foy can play the infield. Dalton Jones can play the infield. Need a base runner. Going to Hawk Harrelson first. Yeah, we're going to go Hawk Harrelson. So Hawk Harrelson would come in to pinch hit for Mike Ryan. Hawk Harrelson batted .255 with 12 home runs. I don't know why they don't put the RBI number up. Not a big deal, but it's kind of strange. Alright, so Harrelson digs in, and he wants that 1 or 5 column. The 2 column's not bad either. So he's pinch hitting for Mike Ryan, who's 0 for 2. We'll have a new catcher in the bottom of the 9th. It'll be Elston Howard. Koufax gets the sign from Roseboro. Here's the pitch to the Hawk. That is 4-12. Fly ball, right field X. fairly. Let's see what this is going to bring us. Possibility of a hit, 15%. That's what you're hoping for if you're a Red Sox fan. Dodger fan, 25% chance of a great play. Change up. Harrelson hits a fly ball to right. Fairley's under it, and he's got it. So after all that, it was just a lazy fly ball out to right. Eric from Higher Ground Gaming says, Al, are you feeling the age of the game on the PC definitely needs an overhaul? It's a very fun game. I'm enjoying it a lot. And tomorrow, I think what I'm going to do, if I'm able to record, I'm going to go with, we'll play some Action PC with the One and Done tournament. And I'll probably come back with a Digital Diamond baseball game, 1978. So you and I can finish up May. I think I'm still slightly ahead of you. I know you've been putting the games out. And then we can do our little compare, hopefully, on the show. So, oh yeah, it's still good. I like this game a lot. This is the game I played as a kid. It took me a long time to buy it. Because my friend Chris and a couple other people I know, the customer service is absolutely awful, they said. So if you have a problem, don't go to them. You have to find someone who knows the game. So Lonborg's at the plate. He's not going to bat. He's going to be all done. And he had a fine outing. And if I could bring up the box score, I would. I have no clue how to bring up the box score. Options. See, it says autoplay box score, and I'm just petrified if I click on that, it's going to autoplay the game. So I don't click on it. So we'll find out exactly. He had about, I think he had 7 strikeouts. All right, we're going back to our bench. And Joe Foy will pinch hit for Jim Lonborg, who was in a pitcher's duel with Sandy Koufax. It was absolutely outstanding. And here comes Joe Foy off the bench. And Foy batted .251 with 16 home runs in 1967. Koufax's only blemish, the leadoff homer by Mike Andrews, and at the time it was a 1-0 lead for the Red Sox, and that held up until the top of the 7th. Foy digs in, he's looking for a pitch he can grip and rip, take out of Fenway. The windup. Here's the pitch by Koufax. It is a 4-11 ground ball, second base X. Let's see if Lefevre can make the play. 30% chance of making a great play, 20% chance for a hit. Let's get that hit. Ground ball up the middle, gets by the pitcher, headed into center field. Jim Lefevre gets to the ball, but he won't be able to make a throw. So Joe Foy gets an infield hit. He's on with 1 out. And Mike Andrews, 1 for 3. His 1 hit was a blast for the first inning. A home run to left center over the Green Monster. Foy, 60% chance of stealing. He'll stay put. Andrews looking for that 3 or 5 column. Red Sox fans rocking and rolling here. 1-1 ball game. 1 out, bottom of the 8th. Roseboro sets the target. Here's the pitch by Koufax. That is a 1-7. And Andrews doesn't bite. He gets the walk. Red Sox fans are ecstatic here. Tying the go-ahead runs at second. Andrews an insurance run at first, and Jerry Adair steps to the plate. Adair's 0 for 3. So Jerry Adair's 0 for 3. I think Dalton Jones actually hit lefties pretty good. Dalton Jones. He did. If we get that 1 column, a lot of stuff there for Dalton Jones. Dalton Jones, we're going to go lefty-lefty matchup. Dalton Jones is going to pinch hit for Jerry Adair, who's 0 for 3. And there's Dalton Jones. 1 and 5. That 1 column, lots of blue there. Lots of blue. First and second. 1 out. Roseboro goes out to have a conference with Koufax. 1-1 ball game. Now back behind the plate. Koufax nods his head. Roseboro sets the target. Here's the pitch to Dalton Jones. That's a 4-9 ground ball, shortstop X. Can this get up the middle? Probably not. Wills moves towards the middle of the bag. 55% chance of making the play. 10% chance of a hit. 11% chance of an error. Ball bounces past the mall. Wills can't get to it. It goes into center field. And Foy advances to third, and he's held up. So Dalton Jones comes through with a clutch pinch hit single. Unfortunately, Joe Foy could not score. They held him up because Captain Carl Yastrzemski comes to the plate. Yeah, it's 0 for 2 with a walk. 1 out, bases jammed. Yastrzemski has to get at least a deep fly ball here. Yeah, he's looking for a ball he can lift deep. Koufax up to 118 pitches. Moment of truth here in this ball game. 1-1. The windup and the pitch to Yastrzemski. It is a 5-6. And Yaz goes down swinging as he tried to send that ball out to Lansdowne Street. Now there's 2 outs, bases loaded. Some clutch pitching by Sandy Koufax. And George Boomer Scott steps to the plate 1 for 2 with a double. Scott digs in the right-hander's batter's box. Looking for that 2 or 5 column. A lot of blue in that column number 2. Koufax rocks and fires. The Boomer swings. 3-12. Fly ball to right field. B. Fairly going. Back on it. Back on it. Back on it. And he makes the catch. Red Sox squander a golden opportunity with bases loaded and 1 out. Yastrzemski strikes out. Boomer flies out. And we need a new pitcher here. Why don't I have Sparky Lyle? Well, it's going to be John Wyatt, the closer. Or Wyatt. I think it's Wyatt. So John Wyatt, the closer. Okay. Can keep Foy in the game at third. I can put Wyatt in the 2 spot. Scott. So I think we're going to keep Foy in at third base. Nelson Howard has to come in to catch. And he's an automatic out. I should have went. He'll go in the 8th spot. And Nelson Howard will catch. I should have done it the other way around. But I can't. I Foy batted for the pitcher. And we're going to go with the closer, John Wyatt. Will come in for the pinch hitter, Dalton Jones. He had a clutch pinch hit, but they held Foy at third. I would have sent him, but I mean Yastrzemski was coming up, so I guess that's why they held him. And they'll pitch. There's the okay.
Peanuts, get your peanuts here.
So we have Foy in at third now. Wyatt at the mound, on the mound. And Wyatt, 1967, 10 wins, 7 losses. I know he had saves, that cannot be right. He'll face Parker, Lefevre, and Roseboro, top of the 9th, tied up at 1. Red Sox will guard the lines. They don't want to give up that extra base hit. Parker's 0 for 2 with a run scored. So it's a new battery of Wyatt and Howard. Howard sets the target. Here's the pitch to Parker. It is a 6-5 possible double or single, and that's an 18. It's going to be a single to right. Calignero gets it and throws it back in towards the infield. So Parker's on. He's the go-ahead run at first base. 70% chance of stealing. Oh boy, that's going to be a double because he's going to steal second. Lefevre steps to the plate. He's 0 for 3. We're going to play corners in. Try to cut off this lead runner. Need a strikeout. Come on, John. Wyatt rocks and fires. Here's the pitch. It is a 2-2 ground ball. First base beat. Let's turn two. Let's turn two. Let's turn two. Lefevre, hard ground ball. Scott fires to Petrocelli and back to first, but not in time. But they get the lead runner. Nice play by Scott. Would have been better if they turned two, but they couldn't. Hello, Ken Castro. So 1 out. Lefevre's at first, 65% chance of stealing second. He represents the go-ahead run, top of the ninth, 1-1. Roseboro at the plate. Dodger catcher, 1 for 3. Get the game-tying RBI in the 7th. Righty-lefty matchup for John Wyatt. Here's the pitch to Roseboro. Red Sox looking to turn 2. Lefevre takes the lead. Wyatt holds the runner. So Lefevre's steal percentage goes down to 25%. We shall hit the reset button. Roseboro steps back in the box. Howard sets the target. Here's the pitch. It is a 2-4 ground ball first. Ground ball pitcher B. Hopefully Wyatt makes this play. It's a comebacker. What happened there? The throw goes to second, so the ball goes back to Wyatt. He quickly throws to Andrews covering second base. Route number 2. Once again, they get the lead runner. So it's 2 outs. Roseboro's at first, represents the go-ahead run, and Sandy Koufax comes to the plate. I'll be in shock if he hits, but he's been pitching a gem. Wyatt needs, if they do, Wyatt needs to strike him out. I don't think he's going to, we're going to hit swing away. And Koufax will hit. That's going to be a ground ball to the second baseman. Andrews throws to Scott, inning over. So that was a 5-9. We go to the bottom of the ninth, tied at 1 apiece. What a ball game here, folks. What a ball game. Tribes fan in the chat says, by the way, 5 decent baseball birthdays today. Julian Javier, Ted Simmons, Troy Percival, Deion Sanders, and Nick Swisher's dad. That is a fun fact, my friend. The Cubs, the Bears would have loved that one. So Tony Calignero steps to the plate. Tony C could be a hero here if he goes yard. He's 0 for 3 off Koufax. Calignero, 20 home runs before the beating in 1967, 287 batting average. He wants that 1 column. 7, 8 possible home runs. The lineup and the pitch to Tony Calignero. It is a 4-10. That's a pop-up to the catcher. 50-50 chance for Roseboro. He's made 2 of these so far. And it's a dinker out in front of the... It's not a pop-up, it's a little dinker in front of the plate. He throws out Calignero at first. So with 1 out, no one on, Rico Petrocelli 0 for 2 with a walk. Rico would love to go yard. Send the Fenway faithful home happy. Game 1, best of 7 against the 65 Dodgers. Koufax, 128 pitches so far, good for 136. He rocks and fires to Petrocelli. That is a 2-5, and Petrocelli is froze on the curveball. That is a strikeout, and that's Sandy Koufax's 11th strikeout in 8 2/3 inning. Unbelievable. So Reggie Smith comes to the plate, switch hitting center fielders 0 for 3. Yeah, struck out once. Smith had 15 home runs in 1967. Koufax nods his head. Here's the pitch to Smith. That is a 3-6. And the Red Sox are not dead in this inning yet. Smith extends the inning with a walk. And the weak-hitting catcher, Elston Howard, comes to plate. Reggie Smith has a 70% chance of stealing. -1 for Roseborough's arm. They're holding Smith on. We're going to attempt to steal. 70% chance. Safe 1 through 14. He's got to get the lead, and that's a 33% chance. Smith inches away. The runner can't get the lead. Drops to 35%. He will hold. Elston Howard batted .178 in 1967 with 4 home runs. Let's see if he can get one now. Here's the windup and the pitch to Howard. That is a 2-9 fly ball, center field B. That's out to Willie Davis. Routine fly ball. Davis ranges over to his right, makes the catch, and we're going to extra innings, folks. Top of the 10th, the 1965 Dodgers won. The 1967 Cardinals. 67 Red Sox won. And Wyatt is up to 14 pitches. He's only good for 17. Maury Wills, top of the order. Wills, Gilliam, and Fairley. What a ball game. Red Sox will play their corners and protect against the bunt. Here's the pitch to Wills. That is a 4-8 ground ball to second base. X. Andrews, 30% chance of a great play, or 20% chance of a hit, 13% chance of an error. A 3-hopper towards Andrews. He gets to it and quickly fires for the out at first base. Just nipping Maury Wills. 1 out, and again another speedy ball player, Jim Gilliam. Red Sox move to guard the lines. They don't want to give up an extra base hit. Gilliam's 0 for 3. Wyatt's 17 out of 17 pitches now. He rocks and fires to Gilliam. That's a 111. That's going to be a ground ball to Scott. That's a B. Scott takes it to the bag himself. No, he flips. I'm sorry. He started to go towards the bag. He flips to Wyatt covering, so 2 up, 2 down. And Ron Fairley, he has 1 of the 7 Dodger hits. It's 1 for 4. We're going to stick with Wyatt for one more batter. So Fairley's looking for that 1 or 6 column. And if you're a Red Sox fan, you want to see that 4 column. 2 outs, no one on. Howard sets the target. Here's the pitch to Fairley. It is a 6-3 fly ball right field X. Caligiero moving towards the line. 25% chance of making the play. 15% chance of a hit. 10% chance of an error. Caligiero ranges over quickly. He reaches out and he makes the catch. Inning over. We go to the bottom of the 10th. 1-1. Sandy Koufax has thrown 144 pitches. Let me go to the chat quickly. Eric from Higher Ground Gaming. Remember to check out Higher Ground Gaming with Eric and Mr. Brody, and Strat-O-Matic Delaware with Chris. Eric says, hey Al, should I have Hobson pitch and Ripley play third base in my next Sox game? Might be better results, LOL. It might be. They're both awful. In Digital Diamond Baseball, he has 10% chance of an error every time. That's awful. So Joe Foy steps to play. He's 1 for 1. He had an infield single that Lefevre was able to get to, but unable to throw to first when he was going up the middle. Foy wants that 3 column. He'll definitely get on, well, really good shot at getting on base with that 3 column. The 2 column, he has a chance of a home run, though, 9 and 10. 10's a clear home run, walk-off.
Enid, get
Foy
your
digs
peanuts
in.
here.
He awaits the Sandy Koufax offering. Here it is. That is a 5-7. It's a possible home run. That's a 3. This ball game's over, folks. I believe this ball game's over. As that's going up, up and away like a beautiful balloon. That is a walk-off home run for Joe Foy. He has done it. The Boston Red Sox in 1967 take game 1 in the bottom of the 10th on a Joe Foy walk-off home run. 2-1. They defeat Sandy Koufax. What an unbelievable baseball game. Sandy Koufax gives up only 5 hits, but 2 of them were home runs. 1 to Mike Andrews, and 1, the game winner, to Joe Foy. What a ball game. What a ball game. If someone doesn't like this game, you don't like baseball. Let's get the box score. Line that up properly. Before we go through the box score, as always, I'd like to say thank you for the people who joined me in the chat. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you to Ken Castro. Eric from Higher Ground Gaming. Check out Higher Ground Gaming. Tribes Fan. And Strat-O-Matic, Delaware. Thank you very much. And I believe that's everyone. What a ball game. This was the best ball game I have ever played. 2-1. Pitchers duel, excitement, everything. So let's quickly go through it. Sandy Koufax, a tough luck loser. He threw 150 pitches. 9 innings. 5 hits, 2 runs, both earned. Walked 5, struck out 11. He gave up 2 home runs. It's funny. In the first at-bat to Mike Andrews and the last at-bat to Joe Foy. How funny is that? Jim Lonborg went 8 innings. 6 hits, 1 run. It was earned. Walked 2, struck out 7. He threw 115 pitches. The win goes to John Wyatt. 2 innings. 1 hit. No runs, no strikeouts, no walks. 22 innings pitched. 22 pitches, excuse me. Red Sox take game 1 of best of 7 here at Fenway Park, 2-1. What an outstanding ball game. Well worth the time. Let's go to the Dodgers. Maury Wills, 2 for 5. Joe Gilliam, 0 for 4. Ron Fairley, 1 for 5. Willie Davis, 1 for 4. Johnson, 0 for 3. Wes Parker, 1 for 3 with a run scored. Lefevre, 0 for 4. Johnny Roseboro, the catcher, knocked in the only run in the top of the 7th for the Dodgers, tying the game up, 1 for 4. And Sandy Koufax was 1 for 4. He singled up the middle off Gentleman Jim Lonborg. In total, the Dodgers 36 at-bats, 1 run on 7 hits with 1 RBI. For the 67 Boston Red Sox, who were victorious here in Game 1, Mike Andrews 1 for 3, and what a hit it was. A leadoff homer. Jerry Adair 0 for 3. Dalton Jones pinch hit single up the middle, but they held Foy at third to load the bases for Yastrzemski. With 1 out, Yaz would strike out, and then Smith would fly out to end that threat. Wyatt came in to pitch, did not get an at-bat. Yastrzemski struggled against Koufax, 0 for 3. Scott, 1 for 3. Tony C. struggled, 0 for 4. Petrocelli, 0 for 3. Smith, 0 for 3. Ryan, 0 for 2. Hawk Harrelson, 0 for 1 as a pinch hitter. Elston Howard, 0 for 1. Lonborg, 0 for 2. And Joe Foy, 2 for 2 with a run scored and a home run, the walk-off home run in the bottom of the 10th to left center over the Green Monster. Red Sox in total, 31 at-bats, 2 runs, 5 hits, home runs by Andrews and Foy, give them the victory. We've already done the pitching stats. And let's see what else we can get here. Attendance, 49,244. Runners left on base, Dodgers left 8, Red Sox 7. Home runs, Andrews and Foy. RBIs, Roseboro, Andrews and Foy. Stolen bases, Dodgers had 2, Wills and Johnson. Yastrzemski had 1 for the Red Sox. Caught stealing, Petrocelli. Sacrifice, Gilliam. Walks, there are a lot of them. You can see them, not going to go through them. Strikeouts, well, we already went through those, didn't we? Fairley, Johnson, Wes Parker twice, Lefevre twice, and Koufax. Those are the strikeouts for the Dodgers. For the Red Sox, Mike Andrews struck out twice. Yastrzemski struck out twice. Scott, Caligiera, Petrocelli got caught twice, striking out. Smith, Ryan, and Lonborg. Runners left in scoring position. 6. As that doesn't make sense. 1 for 7, 1 for 7. Anyhow, that's the ball game, folks. Game 1 goes to the 1967 Red Sox with a walk-off home run by Joe Foy in the bottom of the 10th. 2-1. Tune in for Game 2 at some point in time, maybe tomorrow. Thank you very much, everyone. Remember to check out Eric from Higher Ground Gaming and Chris from Strat-O-Matic, Delaware. Also check out ID Gesture. Broke Black Man 94 for TV and movie reviews. Johnny Giantsbane for Game of Thrones movie reviews. Phil the Issues Guy. Check out those channels. Tabletop Baseball with the Earls. Greg Gary or Gary Greg does a lot of Strat-O-Matic. Go on my channel. It's one of the related ones. Baseball Demos. What's Blazing in Sports with D-Tub. Wonderful boxing channel. Check them all out. Thank you very much. As Al Red Sox fan saying, hit that like button, share. This was a great game. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. We're trying to grow the channel. We have a lot of wonderful baseball talk, and pretty soon we're starting the League of Subs using Action PC Baseball. We're hoping that Eric from Higher Ground Gaming and Mr. Miller will be our first game. Take care. Bye-bye. Till next time. Health and happiness. God bless.